Are you a big X-Men fan that wants nothing more than to see more LEGO sets for your favorite Marvel property? Well, in November, LEGO is going to release their very first big X-Mansion. As a huge X-Men fan myself, I have some big hopes and expectations for this set. Today, I'm going to tell you everything we know so far about the set, what I expect from the minifigures, my hopes for the build, and what I think we might see in the future of LEGO X-Men sets. Let's get into it. Now, the very first time fans heard of this set's possible release was back in February of 2023. It's not uncommon for set rumors to come out quite a while before their official reveal, but 1.5 years is pretty unheard of. This was all due to a survey from LEGO leaking that accidentally included concept pictures of multiple sets, of which a plethora have been released over the last year, like Barad-dûr, the Great Deco Tree, or Gotham City. Now, I don't know if I can show the picture that leaked of the X-Mansion, but the link to it will be in the description of this video. The build surely won't be the exact same, as it was just an early design pic, but since we have gotten some more solid information. It will release under the set number 76294 and will be called neither the X-Mansion nor the X-Man Mansion, but rather Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. The retail price we're currently looking at is a whopping $300 US. Now, that makes it the most expensive Marvel set since the Avengers Tower, releasing in November of 2023. Coincidentally, this set also supposed to release in November, which adds to the rumor of it being the fourth installment of Marvel's modular buildings. Since 2021, they've been releasing one Marvel modular building a year, the Daily Bugle, the Sanctum Sanctorum, Avengers Tower, and now Xavier School could be next in line. The piece count of 3093 pieces confirms that it will be considerably smaller than Avengers Tower, but it exceeds most modulars piece counts, only topped by Assembly Square and the Natural History Museum. As part of those 3093 pieces, we're also supposed to be getting around 10 figures, which is way less than in 2 of the previous Marvel modulars and about on par with the Sanctum Sanctorum. The last thing we can assume is that it will not be solely based off X-Men 97, like the X-Men Extra or the figures we got in the second Marvel CMF. So far, it looks like it will be a mix of multiple X-Men properties, which we can guess off the minifigures, which I'll tell you more about now. The original pictures of the X-Mansion that leaked more than a year ago seem to include 9 figures. This was obviously before X-Men 97 released, so they probably weren't aware of all the changes in characters we see. The figures back then showed Xavier, Wolverine, Storm, Beast, Cyclops, Magneto, Emma Frost, Mystique, and Sabretooth. There would be a cool assortment of minifigures if it didn't include a bunch of repeats, but at this point, it's outdated anyways. By now, we know that the set includes about 10 figures with a few updates to the roster. As far as we know, the set includes Xavier, Wolverine, Cyclops, Beast, Storm, Magneto, and Mystique. Based on Mystique's presence here, it becomes fairly obvious that this isn't solely based off X-Men 97, but draws inspiration from other X-Men properties as well. With that figure selection so far, it leaves about 3 slots left. That is not a lot, so I want to talk about the figures we have seemingly confirmed first. Wolverine, Storm, Beast, Cyclops, and Magneto are all figures we've gotten before. Looking at LEGO's track record, they are probably going to be reuses. Storm and Beast will most likely be taken from the CMF, just like Tiana in the Disney Castle, and Wolverine, Magneto, and Cyclops will match the X-Jet variants, I assume. Of course, we can hope though that they will be different variants than what we've seen so far. Seeing Cyclops, Wolverine, and Storm in updated versions of their outfits from the 2014 X-Jet, the ones they were in X-Men 97's finale, would be really neat. Similarly, getting Beast and Magneto in their final outfits would be cool as well, but they are the two I actually wouldn't mind being reused here, since their figures are already really good. The release of an Xavier and Mystique minifig has been long overdue, and I hope Mystique will don her signature white suit, unlike in any X-Men movie, and Xavier should come with his big yellow chair. That leaves us with about 3, hopefully more figure slots. In my opinion, this set should include less repeats, but now we have to deal with it. Finding 3 figures deserving of these spots is hard, but there are some iconic minifigs we should absolutely get. Gambit, first up as one of the standout characters of X-Men 97 and as probably the coolest guy from that show, should absolutely get a figure, especially with Rogue in the X-Jet. Then Cyclops' better half, Jean Grey. We got a version of her back in 2012 as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and that figure is good, but that figure sells on the aftermarket for about... yeah. She's also in a Phoenix costume, so getting a signature blue and yellow outfit also has been long overdue. Filling the last spot is definitely the most difficult, but Jubilee should probably be it. Her design is iconic and she's played a major role in both the original X-Men show and X-Men 97. Now, as I've mentioned, I hope there's space for at least 2 more figures in the actual set. Getting Bastion or Mr. Sinister would be a dream, but Morph and Cable seem more important. A character that hasn't appeared in X-Men 97 but is still a big figure in pop culture at the moment, which we need again as well, is Deadpool. It's been 12 years since his first and last LEGO minifig, and with Deadpool 3 out now as well, it's really just time to get a new version of him. I'm kinda heartbroken that we're apparently limited to about 10 figures, but hopefully the build can somewhat make that up. As mentioned, this set is shaping up to be another Marvel modular. It doesn't make a particular amount of sense since the X-Mansion is a little more remote, and there are a few things opposing this theory. The details that came with the original leak from ages ago, for example, contradict this. In these, the set is described as 25 cm high, 53 cm wide and 17 cm deep. Now, that isn't small, but it absolutely does not constitute as a modular. This is also proven by the image that is as mentioned in the description and shows the X Mansion as mostly a facade along with a gate up front. Whether or not it has stayed that way with the actual model releasing in a few months remains to be seen, but we know that large-scale facade buildings of this style can work. It reminds me of the Joker Manor that released alongside the Lego Batman movie. It had a retail price of $270 and also featured 10 figures. Now, we can discuss what this set will look like with hints pointing in either direction. For example, the release date matches last year's Avengers Tower. Not just that, why would Lego suddenly elect to abandon their 3-year tradition and not release a Marvel modular this year? On the contrary though, the relatively low piece count could be a sign against it being a modular. Sure, it's got more than the Sanctum, but it's also a much larger building. The only comparison I can draw is to the Natural History Museum. I think it would have to be of similar size at least to do it justice, but that set still has about 1,000 more pieces than the upcoming X Mansion. In my opinion, that is the strongest argument against it being a modular, but I still truly, sincerely hope for it to be one. If it is a modular, I expect it to be 2-storied and at least feature 1 bedroom, 1 classroom and Xavier's office. The bedroom could be used as homage to iconic moments like Wolverine's often meme bed scene. They've done similar with the Daily Bugle, so I don't see why they couldn't do the same here. Xavier's office is integral to so many scenes from any X-Men media, like Magneto's arrival in X-Men 97, and the classroom just has to appear here. It's literally called Xavier's School for Gifted Children. Now, in my dreams, this set also comes with at least a small sentinel, similar to the one from 2014's Extrat, but that would just not be possible with a very limited piece count if it's supposed to be a modular. We definitely need more bad guys, and if we can't get those as figures, we have to get them somewhere else. What I can also see Lego doing, which I hope they don't, is the inclusion of a small X-Jet a la the mini Quinjet in the Avengers Tower. This again is only really possible if it isn't a modular, since it would take up a good number of pieces, but it's also just really not necessary with a great, even if expensive X-Jet out right now. Just make it a modular, utilize the pieces to the best of your abilities, and I'll be buying that set day 1, which I'll probably do anyways, to be honest. Now I want to talk about the future of LEGO X-Men sets. Sadly, the leaked sets for January of 2025 include no X-Men sets. Breaks my heart, but it is what it is. I'll still speculate on what could come and what I really hope to see in the next few years. Something I just mentioned a minute ago would be a Sentinel, but a proper one. KO Customs released their own custom Sentinel about 3 years ago, and something even somewhat similar to that would be amazing. Make it a proper big figure, not one of those flimsy ones like Ant-Man's construction figure, but actually put some meat on it. Then you could also include some figures that we're desperately missing so far that possibly won't appear in the X-Mansion, like Sunspot for example. I mean, with the X-Jet still out, that'd be the perfect 3-set combo, providing fans with good and bad guys as well as 3 different types of builds. Jet, building and construction figure. Now, I can also see LEGO expanding into that sub-theme with mechs. We already have a Wolverine one and nothing stopping LEGO from putting out a Magneto or Gambit one as well. And of course, there's also always the option of seeing more X-Men figures in a third Marvel CMF. The dream is to have a whole CMF dedicated to the X-Men without a doubt, but that is wishful thinking at best. The X-Men are just missing media presence at the moment, and until that is fixed, I doubt that we'll see a lot of LEGO sets based off of them. We do have the X-Men X-Jet at the moment though, which is why I recommend you check out this video I made about it, and if you want to see more of me, check out this video right here. However though, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.